But we added no transgender mutilization of our children and no men in women's sports.
Elon Musk, if these talks go well and you reach
I don't think he's going to be a newsman.
if these talks go well and you reach a ceasefire agreement with Iran, do you believe Israel would abide by that agreement?
I think Israel will be very happy with what we have. We just spoke to Israel a little while ago. I think they'll be very happy. This will be peace for Israel, long-term peace, guaranteed peace. If this happens, and I can't guarantee it, but I think it's going to. My life is a deal. That's all I do is deals my whole life. I think this is something that's going to happen. And why wouldn't it happen? So tomorrow morning sometime, their time, we were expected to blow up their largest electric generating plants that cost over $10 billion to build. It's a very good one. There was no dearth of money. And one shot, it's gone. It collapses. Why would they want that? So they called. I didn't call. They called. They want to make a deal. And we are very willing to make a deal. It's got to be a good deal. And it's got to be no more wars, no more nuclear weapons. They're not going to have nuclear weapons anymore. They're agreeing to that. Any of that stuff, there's no deal.
Have they offered to reopen
the You said you want to get the enriched uranium. How are you going to get the enriched uranium? Are you going to send
It's very easy. If we have a deal with them, we're going down and we'll take it ourselves.
Can I ask you, the Treasury lifted sanctions on Iranian oil that was out to sea. You criticized President Obama for giving Iran $1.7 billion.
Well, I just want to have as much oil in the system as possible.
But Iran is
And we don't even know if Iran gets that money. Frankly, I think it's very hard for them to get it. But you have ships that are out there that are loaded up with oil. Rather than keep it there, I would rather see it go to the system. Any small amount of money that Iran gets is not going to have any difference in this war. But I want to have the system be lubricated.
Even $14 billion, you don't think helps them?
Where's the $14 billion?
Because the inflated price, they get $14 billion from the...
I don't think they're getting the money. I could tell you, when this is all over, I will tell you who's getting the money.
Mr. President,
the Marines from California, given that it'll take them weeks to arrive, is the intention to police the strait or take cars?
What are you talking about?
Well, it's been reported that there are Marines that left California, left San Diego last week, at the end of the week. Why are they headed there now?
Well, let me ask you this. If you were in my position and I asked you that question, do you really believe I'd give you an answer? It's a crazy question.
Mr. President,
we don't talk about strategy. Yeah?
Another young woman was killed by an illegal immigrant that was let in under the Biden administration.
Let in by Biden.
Give a message for her family.
It's devastating. These people were let in by Biden. We're getting them out. We're getting them out fast. That's why ICE is so important. They're doing such a good job. This animal, I saw the whole thing last night. They gave me a briefing. Came in through Joe Biden with his open door policy and his border czar, Kamala, who never saw the border. Never made one phone call. All the ICE people, you see, they all know me. Everyone knows me. They like me. I speak to them all the time. Didn't make one phone call during 4 years. She was the border czar to anybody on the border. Never went there. This person came in through the open door policy of Joe Biden, and we have others. We're taking them out by the tens of thousands. We're doing a great job, but it's a shame. They've hurt our country. Just remember this. Joe Biden and that gang of radical left lunatics, some very smart, but radical left and bad ideology, sick people. These people have hurt our country very badly.
Are we directly talking with Iran?
Those uranium power plants. How is that different from what Russia has been doing in Ukraine by hitting Ukrainian power?
Well, I think it's a lot different. And if you look at the nuclear weapons that they wanted to have, that they wanted to possess, a lot of things are different. I'm not a fan of what Russia's doing either, just so you understand. All right? But it's a lot different. You're talking about a country that has been evil for 47 years. They've been horrible. Death all over the world, not just us. Look at the way they attacked unexpectedly all of those countries surrounding them. It was not supposed to be. Nobody was even thinking about it. But they wanted to take over the Middle East, and they wanted to knock out Israel permanently. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they would have been able to do that.
Are we President talking to Iran?
Mr. President? Do you know whether Joe Kent was leaking?
Look, I'm not a fan of the guy. If you look at, and you never cover this, if you look at his truths or whatever he went on, if it's X or truth, if you look at his truths or his statements, he was all for everything. All of a sudden, he wasn't. He was a man that I met at Dover. He came and his wife was killed. He remarried fairly quickly. His wife was killed, and I felt badly for him. He ran for Congress, he lost. He ran for Congress again, and he lost. I said, you know, he's a guy, nice guy, seemed like a very nice guy. I met him. He was pretty heartbroken, pretty. But I said, you know, it's a shame. He ran for Congress twice. Call him up, give him a job in the White House. Smart. They gave him a job in the White House, and this is what he does to me, you know? Being a nice guy doesn't pay off too much. Think of it. He loses twice in Congress, ran not very good campaigns, should have won, but he loses twice. How do I get him? I have my people call him, because I didn't deal with him for the most part. I saw him a couple of times, but I never dealt with him at all. I had no idea his ideology was left or right, whatever it is. I can say this. He said very strongly that Iran is not a threat. Iran's been a threat for 47 years, and there's not a country in the world that doesn't agree with me on that. So I take this guy, Joe Kent, who lost twice for Congress, pretty badly and tough, and was devastated, and I know that he lost his wife. So instead of letting him live out his life, I brilliantly have my people call him and offer him a job in security, essentially, in the White House. And what does he do? He goes out and he says that Iran is not a threat.
Well, Trump there saying that he wants a deal. His life has been just about deals. But what is the deal, Yusuf? What is the deal is Trump hinting at? He talks about Iran wanting to make a deal very, very badly. Witkoff spoke to, has led the talks along with his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. And he also goes on to call Iranian leaders very loyal and great. What is Trump hinting at? What is he trying to say in your understanding, Yusuf?
Well, he keeps oscillating, just shifting from one position to another. Once he was saying that there's no one inside Iran to talk to, and now he's saying that he has been engaged in talks with Iranians. And of course, in the eyes of Tehran, this is a means to create this smoke screen, to create this atmosphere of uncertainty, to just launch further strikes towards Iran. And of course, in the eyes of some of the observers in Iran, Donald Trump every week, when the markets open, he issues such statements to try to drive down oil prices. And even his time frame of 5 days aligned with the closure of the energy markets after 5 days. So all in all, the Iranians deny any kind of involvement with the United States, with the Trump administration, to try to just find an off-ramp, a diplomatic off-ramp from this conflict. Of course, Iran has made it clear that it is willing to and it is ready to continue this fight for the upcoming days, weeks, and even months. And despite claims by the Trump administration that they have been able to degrade Iran's ballistic missile power and drone power, and even nuclear activity, nuclear program, the Iranians have been demonstrating the capability and the willingness to continue this fight, because they keep just tossing around their ballistic missiles and drones towards the American and Israeli assets, towards Israeli territories. One of the strongest strikes targeted Dimona recently. And of course, Iran is now demonstrating the capability to strike back and to reciprocate any action, any strike that targets its infrastructure. Iran showed that it has been able to retaliate the strikes that targeted its oil depots, and then it retaliated by targeting oil storage facilities in the GCC region. Then the Israelis targeted the Natanz enrichment facility, and Iran targeted Dimona nuclear infrastructure. And of course, now Iran threatened and warned that if Donald Trump acts on his promise and targets the country's power plants and energy infrastructure, then Iran will target the entire region's power plants and electricity systems. So, and to the Islamic Republic, the reason why Trump made this shift and shifted gears from hawkish stance to a soft stance is because of the threats Iran has been making and the retaliatory strikes it has been launching towards the American interests in the region.
Right. Many thanks, Yusuf. And thank you so much, Mr. Kapchan, for joining us on Republic TV. Viewers, Republic TV continues to get you each and every update coming in as Trump has now announced a 5-day halt in the hostilities. But yes, he continues to, give in more signals about a deal and also, of course, says very interestingly that he doesn't want Mustafa killed, but he does not know he is alive or not, and also goes on to say that Iranian leaders are very, very loyal.
Right, of course. And in the same breath says that he's destroyed Iran's leadership. Viewers, question now remains whether this is a genuine pause that's now taking place in the 24-day Iran war or just a tactical breather on the part of the US. Don't go anywhere. News and developments continue on the other side.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
MDH का जल जीरा जीरा सिप
जीरा सिप असली रिफ्रेशिंग असली स्वाद असली मजा
MDH केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
First we saw the people dying, the killings, and that's continuing, destruction of infrastructure, and now the economic impact. The economic impact will affect everybody across the world. The price of LNG, cooking gas has already gone up. So it is a very serious problem. We are all going to suffer. So we all have to work to make sure it ends soon. And I hope that, led by our Prime Minister, etc., we will work on that.
ठीक है मंडू भेज दे रहे हैं ठीक है ना भेज रहे मंडू अनुसरण होगा तुमचा कुणाल गेला तो नीचे अजून गाडी पूर्ण होला त्याला गोटे का गाडी माकळा
मैं सम्मानित सदन में पश्चिम एशिया में चल रहे संघर्ष और इसकी वजह से भारत के सामने आई चुनौतियों पर बात रखने के लिए उपस्थित हुआ हूं। इस समय पश्चिमी एशिया की हालत चिंताजनक है। बीते 2-3 हफ्तों में जयशंकर जी ने और हरदीप पुरी जी ने इस विषय पर सदन को जरूरी जानकारी दी है। अब इस संकट को 3 सप्ताह से ज्यादा हो रहा है। इसका पूरे विश्व की अर्थव्यवस्था पर, लोगों के जीवन पर बहुत ही विपरीत असर हो रहा है। इसलिए पूरी दुनिया इस संकट के जल्द से जल्द समाधान के लिए सभी पक्षों से आग्रह भी कर रही है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, भारत के सामने भी इस युद्ध ने अप्रत्याशित चुनौतियां खड़ी कर दी हैं। ये चुनौतियां आर्थिक भी हैं, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी से जुड़ी भी हैं और मानवीय भी हैं। युद्धरत और युद्ध से प्रभावित देशों के साथ भारत के व्यापक व्यापारिक रिश्ते हैं। जिस क्षेत्र में युद्ध हो रहा है वो दुनिया के दूसरे देशों के साथ हमारे व्यापार का भी एक महत्वपूर्ण रास्ता है। विशेष रूप से कच्चे तेल और गैस की हमारी जरूरतों का एक बड़ा हिस्सा यही क्षेत्र पूरा करता है। हमारे लिए ये रीजन एक और कारण से भी अहम है। लगभग 1 करोड़ भारतीय खाड़ी देशों में रहते हैं और वहां काम करते हैं। वहां समंदर में जो कमर्शियल शिप चलते हैं उनमें भारतीय क्रू मेंबर्स की संख्या भी बहुत अधिक है। ऐसे अलग अलग कारणों के चलते भारत की चिंताएं स्वाभाविक रूप से अधिक है। इसलिए ये आवश्यक है कि भारत की संसद से इस संकट को लेकर एक मत और एकजुट आवाज दुनिया में जाए। अध्यक्ष जी, जब से ये युद्ध शुरू हुआ है तब से ही प्रभावित देशों में हर भारतीय को जरूरी मदद दी जा रही है। मैंने खुद पश्चिम एशिया के ज्यादातर देशों के राष्ट्राध्यक्षों के साथ 2 राउंड फोन पर बात की है। सभी ने भारतीयों की सुरक्षा का पूरा आश्वासन दिया है। दुर्भाग्य से इस दौरान कुछ लोगों की दुखद मृत्यु हुई है और कुछ घायल हुए हैं। ऐसे मुश्किल हालात में परिवारजनों को आवश्यक मदद दी जा रही है। जो घायल है उनका बेहतर इलाज सुनिश्चित कराया जा रहा है। अध्यक्ष जी, प्रभावित देशों में हमारे जितने भी मिशन हैं वो निरंतर भारतीयों की मदद करने में जुटे हैं। वहां काम करने वाले भारतीय हो या फिर जो टूरिस्ट वहां गए हैं, सभी को हर संभव मदद दी जा रही है। हमारे मिशन नियमित रूप से एडवाइजरी जारी कर रहे हैं। यहां भारत में और अन्य प्रभावित देशों में 24/7 कंट्रोल रूम और आपातकालीन हेल्पलाइन स्थापित की गई है। इनके माध्यम से सभी प्रभावितों को त्वरित जानकारी दी जा रही है। अध्यक्ष जी, संकट की स्थिति में देश विदेश में भारतीयों की सुरक्षा हमारी बहुत बड़ी प्राथमिकता रही है। युद्ध शुरू होने के बाद से लेकर अब तक 3,75,000 से अधिक भारतीय सुरक्षित भारत लौट चुके हैं। ईरान से ही अभी तक लगभग 1,000 भारतीय सुरक्षित वापस लौटे हैं। इनमें 700 से अधिक मेडिकल की पढ़ाई करने वाले युवा हैं। खाड़ी देशों में भारतीय स्कूलों में हजारों विद्यार्थी पढ़ते हैं। सीबीएसई ने ऐसे सभी भारतीय स्कूलों में होने वाली कक्षा 10वीं और 12वीं की निर्धारित परीक्षाओं को रद्द कर दिया है। इन बच्चों की पढ़ाई निर्बाध चलती रहे, इसके लिए सीबीएसई उचित कदम उठा रही है। यानी सरकार संवेदनशील भी है, सतर्क भी है और हर सहायता के लिए तत्पर भी है। माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, भारत में बड़ी मात्रा में कच्चा तेल, गैस और फर्टिलाइजर जैसी अनेक जरूरी चीजें हॉर्मुज स्ट्रेट के रास्ते से आती हैं। युद्ध के बाद से ही हॉर्मुज स्ट्रेट में जहाजों का आना जाना बहुत चुनौतीपूर्ण हो गया है। बावजूद इसके हमारी सरकार का ये प्रयास रहा है कि पेट्रोल, डीजल और गैस की सप्लाई बहुत ज्यादा प्रभावित न हो। देश के सामान्य परिवारों को परेशानी भी कम से कम हो, इस पर हमारा फोकस रहा है। हम सभी जानते हैं, देश अपनी जरूरत की 60% एलपीजी आयात करता है। इसकी सप्लाई में अनिश्चितता के कारण सरकार ने एलपीजी के डोमेस्टिक उपयोग को प्राथमिकता दी है। साथ ही एलपीजी के देश में ही उत्पादन को भी बढ़ाया जा रहा है। पेट्रोल, डीजल की सप्लाई पूरे देश में सुचारू रूप से होती रहे, इस पर भी लगातार काम किया गया है। अध्यक्ष जी, आज की इन परिस्थितियों में एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी को लेकर बीते एक दशक में उठाए गए कदम और भी प्रासंगिक हो गए हैं। भारत ने बीते 11 वर्षों में अपनी एनर्जी इंपोर्ट का डाइवर्सिफिकेशन किया है। पहले क्रूड ऑयल, एलएनजी, एलपीजी ऐसी एनर्जी जरूरतों के लिए 27 देशों से इंपोर्ट किया जाता था। वहीं आज भारत 41 देशों से एनर्जी इंपोर्ट करता है। अध्यक्ष जी, बीते दशक में भारत ने संकट के ऐसे ही समय के लिए कच्चे तेल के भंडारण को भी प्राथमिकता दी है। आज भारत के पास 53 लाख मीट्रिक टन से अधिक का स्ट्रेटेजिक पेट्रोलियम रिजर्व है और 65 लाख मीट्रिक टन से अधिक के रिजर्व की व्यवस्था पर देश काम कर रहा है। हमारी तेल कंपनियों के पास जो रिजर्व रहता है वो अलग है। बीते 11 वर्षों में हमारी रिफाइनिंग कैपेसिटी में भी उल्लेखनीय वृद्धि हुई है। अध्यक्ष जी, सरकार अलग अलग देशों के सप्लायर्स के साथ भी लगातार संपर्क में है। प्रयास ये है कि जहां से संभव हो वहां से तेल और गैस की सप्लाई होती रहे। भारत सरकार गल्फ और आसपास के शिपिंग रूट्स पर निरंतर नजर बनाए हुए है। हमारा प्रयास है कि तेल हो, गैस हो, फर्टिलाइजर हो, ऐसे हर जरूरी सामान से जुड़े जहाज भारत तक सुरक्षित पहुंचे। हम अपने सभी वैश्विक सहयोगियों के साथ निरंतर संवाद कर रहे हैं ताकि हमारे मैरीटाइम कॉरिडोर सुरक्षित रहे। ऐसे प्रयासों के कारण बीते दिनों हॉर्मुज स्ट्रेट में फंसे हमारे कई जहाज भारत आए भी हैं। अध्यक्ष जी, संकट के इस समय में देश की एक और तैयारी भी बहुत काम आ रही है। पिछले 10-11 साल में इथेनॉल के उत्पादन और उसकी ब्लेंडिंग पर अभूतपूर्व काम हुआ है। एक दशक पहले तक देश में सिर्फ 1-1.5% इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग कैपेसिटी थी। आज हम पेट्रोल में 20% इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग के करीब पहुंच रहे हैं। इसके कारण प्रति वर्ष करीब 4.5 करोड़ बैरल कम ऑयल इंपोर्ट करना पड़ रहा है। ऐसे ही रेलवे के बिजलीकरण से भी बहुत बड़ा फायदा हो रहा है। अगर रेलवे का इतना बिजलीकरण न होता तो हर साल करीब 180 करोड़ लीटर डीजल अतिरिक्त लगता। ऐसे ही हमने मेट्रो का नेटवर्क बढ़ाया है। 2014 में जहां देश में मेट्रो नेटवर्क 250 किलोमीटर से भी कम था, आज ये बढ़कर करीब 1100 किलोमीटर हो गया है। हमने इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी पर बहुत अधिक बल दिया। केंद्र सरकार ने राज्यों को 15,000 इलेक्ट्रिक बसें चलाने के लिए दी हैं। आज जिस स्केल पर वैकल्पिक ईंधन पर काम हो रहा है, उससे भारत का भविष्य और सुरक्षित होगा। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, हम जानते हैं कि एनर्जी आज इकोनॉमी की रीढ़ है और ग्लोबल एनर्जी नीड्स को पूरा करने वाला एक बड़ा सोर्स वेस्ट एशिया है। स्वाभाविक है कि दुनिया भर की अर्थव्यवस्था वर्तमान संकट से प्रभावित हो रही है और भारत पर इसका कम से कम दुष्प्रभाव हो, इसके लिए निरंतर प्रयास किए जा रहे हैं। सरकार इसके शॉर्ट टर्म, मीडियम टर्म और लॉन्ग टर्म ऐसे हर असर के लिए एक रणनीति के साथ काम कर रही है। आज भारत की इकोनॉमी के फंडामेंटल्स मजबूत है। इससे भी देश को बहुत मदद मिली है। हम हर सेक्टर के स्टेक होल्डर्स के साथ चर्चा कर रहे हैं। जहां भी जरूरत है उस सेक्टर को आवश्यक सपोर्ट दिया जा रहा है। भारत सरकार ने एक इंटर मिनिस्ट्रियल ग्रुप भी बनाया है। ये ग्रुप हर रोज मिलता है और हमारे इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट में आने वाली हर दिक्कत का आकलन करता है और ये ग्रुप आवश्यक समाधान पर भी निरंतर काम करता है। मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि सरकार और इंडस्ट्री के साझा प्रयासों से हम परिस्थितियों का बेहतर सामना कर पाएंगे। माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, एक बड़ा सवाल ये है कि युद्ध का खेती पर क्या प्रभाव होगा। देश के किसानों ने हमारे अन्न के भंडार भर रखे हैं, इसलिए भारत के पास पर्याप्त खाद्यान्न है। हमारा ये भी प्रयास है कि खरीफ सीजन की ठीक से बुआई हो सके। सरकार ने बीते सालों में आपात स्थिति से निपटने के लिए खाद की पर्याप्त व्यवस्था भी की है। अतीत में भी हमारी सरकार ने दुनिया के संकटों का बोझ किसानों पर नहीं पड़ने दिया था। कोरोना और उस समय के युद्धों के दौरान उस समय भी ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन में डिस्ट्रप्शन आ गई थी। दुनिया के बाजार में यूरिया की एक बोरी 3,000 रुपये तक पहुंच गई, लेकिन भारत के किसानों को वही बोरी 300 रुपये से भी कम कीमत में उपलब्ध कराई गई। अध्यक्ष जी, देश के किसानों को इस प्रकार के संकटों से बचाने के लिए भी बीते वर्षों में अनेक कदम उठाए गए हैं। पिछले एक दशक में देश में 6 यूरिया प्लांट शुरू किए गए हैं। इससे सालाना 76 लाख मैट्रिक टन से अधिक की यूरिया प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी जुड़ी है। इस दौरान डीएपी और एनपीकेएस जैसी खाद का घरेलू उत्पादन भी करीब 50 लाख मीट्रिक टन बढ़ाया गया है। इतना ही नहीं, तेल और गैस की तरह खाद के आयात को भी डाइवर्सिफाई किया गया है। ऐसे ही डीएपी और एनपीके के आयात के लिए भी हमने अपने विकल्पों को विस्तार किया है। अध्यक्ष जी, सरकार ने देश के किसानों को मेड इन इंडिया नैनो यूरिया का विकल्प भी दिया है। सरकार किसानों को प्राकृतिक खेती के लिए भी प्रोत्साहित कर रही है। पीएम कुसुम योजना के तहत किसानों को 22 लाख से ज्यादा सोलर पंप दिए गए हैं। इससे भी डीजल पर उनकी निर्भरता कम हुई है। मैं सदन के माध्यम से देश के किसानों को विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि सरकार किसानों की हर संभव मदद करती रहेगी। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, युद्ध का एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज ये भी है कि भारत में गर्मी का मौसम शुरू हो रहा है। आने वाले समय में बढ़ती गर्मी के साथ बिजली की डिमांड बढ़ती जाएगी। फिलहाल देश के सभी पावर प्लांट्स के पर्याप्त कोल स्टॉक्स उपलब्ध है। भारत ने लगातार दूसरे साल 100 करोड़ टन कोयला उत्पादन करने का रिकॉर्ड बनाया है। पावर जनरेशन से लेकर पावर सप्लाई तक के हमारे सभी सिस्टम की निरंतर मॉनिटरिंग भी की जा रही है और सरकार की तैयारियां उसको रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी से भी मदद मिली है। बीते दशक में रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी की तरफ देश ने बड़े कदम उठाए हैं। आज हमारी टोटल इंस्टॉल्ड पावर जनरेशन कैपेसिटी का आधा हिस्सा रिन्यूएबल सोर्स से आता है। हमारी कुल रिन्यूएबल क्षमता आज 250 गीगावाट के ऐतिहासिक आंकड़े को पार कर गई। बीते 11 वर्षों में देश ने अपनी सोलर पावर कैपेसिटी करीब 3 गीगावाट से बढ़ाकर 140 गीगावाट तक पहुंचाई है। बीते वर्षों में देश में करीब 40 लाख रूफटॉप सोलर लगे हैं। इसमें पीएम सूर्यघर मुफ्त बिजली योजना से भी लोगों को काफी मदद मिली है। गोवर्धन योजना के तहत देश में आज 200 कॉम्प्रेस्ड बायोगैस प्लांट भी काम करना शुरू कर चुके हैं। ये सारे प्रयास आज देश के बहुत काम आ रहे हैं। सरकार ने भविष्य की तैयारी और बढ़ाते हुए शांति एक्ट माध्यम से देश में न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी के उत्पादन को भी प्रोत्साहित किया है। कुछ ही दिन पहले स्मॉल हाइड्रो पावर डेवलपमेंट स्कीम को भी हरी झंडी दी गई है, जिससे अगले 5 वर्षों में 1500 मेगावाट नई हाइड्रो पावर कैपेसिटी जोड़ी जाएगी। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, जहां तक डिप्लोमेसी की बात है, भारत की भूमिका स्पष्ट है। शुरुआत से ही हमने इस संघर्ष को लेकर अपनी गहरी चिंता व्यक्त की है। मैंने स्वयं भी पश्चिम एशिया की सभी संबंधित नेताओं से बातचीत की है। मैंने सभी से तनाव को कम करने और इस संघर्ष को खत्म करने का आग्रह किया है। भारत ने नागरिकों, एनर्जी और ट्रांसपोर्ट से जुड़े इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर हमलों का विरोध किया है। कमर्शियल जहाजों पर हमला और हॉर्मुज स्ट्रेट जैसे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय जलमार्ग में रुकावट अस्वीकार्य है। भारत डिप्लोमेसी के जरिए युद्ध के इस माहौल में भी भारतीय जहाजों के सुरक्षित आवागमन के लिए निरंतर प्रयास कर रहा है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, भारत हमेशा से ही मानवता के हित में और शांति के पक्ष में अपनी आवाज उठाता रहा है। मैं फिर कहूंगा कि बातचीत और कूटनीति ही इस समस्या का समाधान है। हमारे हर प्रयास तनाव को कम करने, इस संघर्ष को समाप्त करने के लिए है। इस युद्ध में किसी के भी जीवन पर संकट मानवता के हित में नहीं है। इसलिए भारत का प्रयास सभी पक्षों को जल्द से जल्द शांतिपूर्ण समाधान के लिए प्रोत्साहित करने का है। अध्यक्ष जी, जब ऐसे संकट आते हैं तो कुछ तत्व इसका गलत फायदा उठाने की कोशिश भी करते हैं। इसलिए कानून व्यवस्था सुनिश्चित करने वाली सभी एजेंसियों को अलर्ट पर रखा गया है। कोस्टल सिक्योरिटी हो, बॉर्डर सिक्योरिटी हो, साइबर सिक्योरिटी हो, स्ट्रेटेजिक इंस्टॉलेशंस हो, सबकी सुरक्षा को और मजबूत किया जा रहा है। अध्यक्ष जी, इस युद्ध के कारण दुनिया में जो कठिन हालात बने हैं, उनका प्रभाव लंबे समय तक बने रहने की आशंका है। इसलिए हमें तैयार रहना होगा, हमें एकजुट रहना होगा। हम कोरोना के समय भी एकजुटता से ऐसी चुनौतियों का सामना कर चुके हैं। अब हमें फिर से उसी तरह तैयार रहने की आवश्यकता है। धीरज के साथ, संयम के साथ, शांत मन से हमें हर चुनौती का मुकाबला करना है। और यही हमारी पहचान है, यही हमारी ताकत है। और हाँ, हमें बहुत सावधान और सतर्क भी रहना है। हालात का फायदा उठाने वाले झूठ फैलाने का प्रयास करेंगे, ऐसे लोगों की कोशिशों को सफल नहीं होने देना है। मैं देश की सभी राज्य सरकारों से भी इस सदन के माध्यम से आग्रह करूंगा, ऐसे समय में कालाबाजारी करने वाले, जमाखोरी करने वाले एक्टिव हो जाते हैं। इसके लिए कड़ी मॉनिटरिंग जरूरी है। जहां से भी ऐसी शिकायतें आती हैं, वहां त्वरित कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। देश की हर सरकार और देश का हर नागरिक जब मिलकर चलेंगे तो हम हर चुनौती को चुनौती दे सकते हैं। इसी आग्रह के साथ मैं अपना वक्तव्य समाप्त करता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा और मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
First we saw the people dying, the killings, and that's continuing, destruction of infrastructure, and now the economic impact. The economic impact will affect everybody across the world. You know, the price of LNG, cooking gas has already gone up. So it is a very serious problem.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा सिप। MDH का जल जीरा, जीरा सिप।
जीरा सिप, असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MDH।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
First we saw the people dying, the killings, and that's continuing, destruction of infrastructure, and now the economic impact. The economic impact will affect everybody across the world. You know, the price of LNG, cooking gas has already gone up. So it is a very serious problem. We're all going to suffer. So we all have to work to make sure it ends soon. And I hope that, led by our Prime Minister, etc., we will work on that.
ठीक है मंटू, भेज दे रहे हैं। ठीक है ना, भेज रहा मंटू। अरे आलू से नहीं होगा। तुम तो कमाल किया तो नीचे अब तुम गाड़ी ले पूर्ण वाला ना लोगों का गाड़ी मार
How deeply is Russia involved in Iran? Russia, the biggest benefactor of the Iran war. The Putin angle in the war, debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Co-powered by Green Ply. हर जरूरत का रिप्लाई।
Rapid U-turn after Iran escalation. From 48-hour ultimatum to talks with Iran. Has America lost the battle? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. Century Premium Plus. Jaguar Bath and Light. Co-powered by UTI Mutual Fund. हक एक बेहतर जिंदगी का। TVS N-Torq 150, India's first 150cc hyper sport scooter. मुथूट फाइनेंस गोल्ड लोन, सोना क्या नहीं कर सकता।
How deeply is Russia involved in Iran? Russia, the biggest benefactor of the Iran war. The Putin angle in the war, debating tonight at 8 p.m. rapid U-turn after Iran escalation. From 48-hour ultimatum to talks with Iran. Has America lost the battle? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. Century Premium Plus. Jaguar Bath and Light. Co-powered by UTI Mutual Fund, Haq, Ek Behetar Zindagi Ka. TVS N-Talk 150, India's first 150cc hyper sports scooter. Muthoot Finance Gold Loan. Sona kya nahi kar sakta.
How deeply is Russia involved in Iran? Russia, the biggest benefactor of the Iran war. The Putin angle in the war. Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Co-powered by
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
On the show tonight, is one of the reasons Trump has backed off the fact that Russia is backing Iran. At 8:30 p.m. tonight, we're analyzing with Trump offering some kind of a vague, cooling it down period of 5 days. Can he be trusted? Can Iran trust what Trump is promising? And at 9 o'clock tonight, is this really a climb down by Trump? If it is, has he been offset by his own predictions of where the war will go? There are various analyses that are going on about why Trump has climbed down, though one can't really be sure that he's climbed down. Every time Trump offers to climb down, he has some other plan. Last time he was engaging with the Iranians on nuclear talks. He ended up attacking and killing Ayatollah Khamenei. So it is very difficult to take Trump at face value. But one of the reasons that Trump could be climbing down is because he has realized he's not really taking on Iran alone. What I mean to say is, viewers, that is it possible that a very powerful man called Vladimir Putin is backing Iran? Over the last few days, this is the question the world is asking. Is Putin the hidden hand, the power behind the Iranian regime? Has Putin supplied S-400s, as some people in the Western media are saying to Iran? Have Russian cargo planes landed in Iran? If so, why? Now, there can be various reasons for it, but it will be completely understandable if Russia is indeed helping Iran, because after all, Russia will not forget what America has done for the Ukrainians. They have given them tanks, they have given them target coordinates, they have given them F-16s, and while doing so all along, America has denied giving, for example, target coordinate data, where to attack, where not to attack, even in Russia, in Moscow. They've denied doing it to the Ukrainians, but everyone knows that Biden helped Zelensky and Trump willy-nilly did help Zelensky as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, is Putin doing the same? Is it tit for tat by Vladimir Putin to Donald Trump for continuing to help Zelensky? Is Putin settling scores with the United States of America while also being the biggest financial beneficiary of the war through the oil trade, which it has unleashed? In that sense, ladies and gentlemen, should one credit Putin for being able to read the geopolitical lay of the land much, 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 much better than Donald Trump, who was reacting on social media, reacting to social media, while in all of this, you've seen very few statements by Putin. If geopolitics is a chessboard, ask yourself one question today. Why has Putin been silent on Greenland? Why has Putin been silent on Europe besides making a few threatening noises? Why has Putin been silent on Iran? Is it possible that Putin has held himself back, or is it possible that Moscow is giving a lot of strategic assistance to Iran that is helping them elongate the war, strengthen the war, do more targeted attacks while always keeping a line of deniability in the process? Today is a big day. Trump says, I'm offering a 5-day window of reducing the fireworks in the war theater. While this happens, the question the world wants to know is, how deeply is Russia involved in Iran? Let's take a look at today's developments, and then we have a very special guest.
Even at the peak of Iran's isolation, Russia came to Iran's aid. Despite high Western pressure, Russia has signed a 20-year comprehensive strategic partnership treaty with Iran in January 2025. This included supplying advanced defense technology to Iran, including Mi-28 attack helicopters and air defense systems. And now, as the war rages in West Asia, Kremlin has warned the United States. They have urged United States to avoid strikes on Iran's Russia-built nuclear plant, warning it could trigger irreparable consequences.
Мы считаем нанесение ударов по ядерным объектам потенциально чрезвычайно опасными и чреватыми, возможно, даже непоправимыми последствиями. Поэтому российская сторона, занимая в этом вопросе чрезвычайно ответственную позицию, неоднократно заявляла о своих опасениях.
And after Russia's warning came a climb down by Trump, announcing all strikes on Iranian nuclear plants have been halted for 5 days. And now, the most important question remains, how deeply is Russia involved in Iran? And how does that impact the outcome of the war?
Ladies and gentlemen, with us is a very important guest who represents the Russian point of view. Dmitry Polyanskiy is the ambassador and permanent representative of the Russian Federation to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, which means he maintains very closely the relationship with Europe, the security cooperation with Europe. And as I said there in my introduction, I feel in a connected world, Mr. Polyanskiy, everything is connected. Europe, the theater in Europe, Ukraine, Iran, Middle East. In a way, there are strategic interests involved everywhere. So how do you view the ongoing situation right now, vis-a-vis Iran, in terms of Russian interests in the region?
Well, the situation is indeed very precarious. And from the outset, as you know, we condemned the aggression of the United States and Israel against Iran. We think that this action is not justifiable. And we repeatedly warned the parties from engaging into military activities. We believe that good diplomacy should prevail in this regard. That's why we consistently support the option of a diplomatic solution to finding an answer to all the contradictions that emerge among the parties. That has been our consistent position from last year, from the moment when the 3 European countries decided to trigger snapback in accordance with the JCPOA as they framed it. So we were opposing this. We said that it would lead to a crisis. What's happening right now, for me, it's very hard to judge from here, from Vienna, because I'm not in the loop of the events. But I'm quite sure that there are a lot of efforts from many sides, including from Russia, to kind of bring this back to the diplomatic track and to find a solution that would stop this development, which is very harmful to the whole world, economically, politically, militarily. We are very much worried about Iran's neighbors in the Gulf as well. We understand that they have become victims of the Israeli and American action, which was not coordinated with them, and that's why the installations were hit in these countries. This is a very bad development, and we said about this, but one, of course, shouldn't confuse the cause and the root cause. So the consequences are these strikes, but the cause, of course, is the U.S.-Israeli aggression against Iran.
It is being speculated that Russia is helping Iran.
It means it depends on what you mean by helping. Russia has, from the outset, said that Iran is our partner, and we have an agreement. He mentioned it in the introduction. We stick to this agreement. As far as I know, Iran didn't ask anything practical in terms of military assistance and cooperation during the contacts that were maintained at the highest and high level. At least that was the information that is circulating in the media. Right now, I know that there was an exchange of phone conversations between presidents, prime ministers of Russia and Iran. Also, our presidents spoke from Russia and the United States. And I think the message is the same. We want this thing to stop, and we want diplomacy to prevail in this crisis, which is shattering the whole world.
Has Russia given S-400 air defense systems to Iran?
I don't have such information. Again, I'm not in the loop, so I will not speculate.
It was reported. It was reported that Russia has also given Su-35 fighters to Iran to help them at this phase of the war.
Again, Arnab, I'm very sorry, but maybe I'm not the right person to be asked these questions.
Yes.
Dealing with your security, as you understand. So it's hard for me to...
I understand. I'm just placing it on... It was reported. I mean, these things have never been officially confirmed on any side, but, there were all these reports that there have been sightings or reportings or on flight radars. It has been caught that the AN-124 cargo planes, which are the largest, biggest cargo planes, were flying from Russia to Iran. And, why would these big Antonov transport planes be flying to Iran unless they were supplying the S-400s?
I saw reports, media reports. There is a lot of things. There are a lot of things that are being said about this crisis. A lot of speculations, but really, I'm not in a position to comment on it. Frankly,
but it would be completely understandable, Mr. Polyanskiy, if Russia were to be helping Iran, because after all, America helped Ukraine. America gave Ukraine F-16s against Russia. They gave them tanks. They gave them target coordinates from satellites. They gave them drones. They gave them a lot of military assistance used to kill your soldiers, to target Russia. So it would be completely understandable if you were to be doing the same with Iran.
I'm not arguing with your logic. I'm just trying to base my position on the facts that I know. And the facts that I know were that Iran didn't ask about military assistance from Russia. This was stated and confirmed at the highest level, and I stick to this position.
Do you see this emerging slowly, Mr. Polyanskiy, as a bigger geopolitical game than it has been seen so far? Because after all, major powers cannot be mute spectators if the Middle East theater becomes any more volatile than this.
I think that the whole world is interconnected, of course, and you can't speak about such a big crisis happening in the Middle East and not affecting other countries, other regions. Of course, it affects Russia. It affects Russia economically, politically. It affects everybody. It affects Europe by raising the cost of energy. I think it affects India as well. So nobody is spared by by the crisis of such magnitude. That's why it's normal that world diplomats are trying to find a solution to this in different constellations, and I think that everybody now is trying to figure out what can be the best way to stop this thing from developing. And the fact that
Mr. Polyanskiy, just days before Operation Epic Fury on February 28th, Moscow and Tehran signed a new defense contract. And there was a verified list of Russian weapons to be delivered to Iran, which includes 48 Sukhoi 35 jets, Mi-28 attack helicopters, Verba manpads worth $500 million, $500 billion. If you don't give them these arms now, when they need it the most, when would you give it?
I'm neither confirming nor denying it, frankly, because I really lack information. It's not my sphere of competence. I would leave this to my colleagues who are directly involved with this. I also know that diplomacy is a quiet thing, and it doesn't like very much loud statements and megaphone events. So I assume that a lot of things that are being done far away from cameras and from microphones.
Yes. Yeah, naturally so. I mean, for example, Trump has confirmed that there is a back-channel conversation on with the Iranians. No official confirmation has happened of that. Do you believe there's such a back-channel is required at this point of time? Is there any role that Russia is playing in that?
I think that Russia offered its service to mediate, to help to find a solution once the two parties want us to do it. I'm not aware whether this offer was heeded or not. I also heard that the Iranians today, I think, denied that there was any kind of negotiations with the United States, but there is so much conflicting information coming from different sources that it's very hard to figure out what is really happening.
Do you welcome this sort of quasi-ceasefire announcement by Donald Trump? Can it be believed?
In any hope for all of us that these hostilities will not continue, that there will be a diplomatic solution, is of course a positive thing. But things are too fragile, and I haven't heard any, I would say, meaningful change in the rhetoric of Donald Trump vis-à-vis Iran, which we do not share and which we do not support. So I think it's too premature to judge it at this point. So we have some developments, some breaking developments, or whether it's just a change of tune.
Mr. Polyanskiy, I know I'm taking you off from the Europe mandate which you are looking at. I completely appreciate that. But I again say that everything is linked today. For example, Europe has been called cowards by Trump. This is a brilliant situation for Russia to get into a warmer, more business-like relationship with Europe. Isn't that a natural corollary of the way things have been going of late? I mean, are you now looking forward to doing more business, working more closely with the EU? because that is your mandate. You are the ambassador to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Is that not an obvious opportunity that if Trump is not just disengaged from NATO security, but he's disengaged from any courteous conversation with European countries? I mean, the way he's spoken to most European countries are also looking back, standing up for themselves. How do you view this as a diplomatic and economic opportunity for the Russian Federation?
Well, we never stopped dialogue with Europe. We never burned the bridges. It was not us who made such decisions, and that's why our door, our channels of communication are always open. They were open and they remain open. The question is that, unfortunately, we don't see any sane forces in Europe right now. Any politicians in most of European countries, with the exception of maybe Hungary and Slovakia, that are capable of taking decisions that would serve their national interests. Europe has lost a lot during these years, and it was a choice of Europe to do away, to cut it from Russian cheap energy sources, and of course it triggered enormous economic problems for Europe, for billions of dollars. Look at Germany, what has come out of this country. Its economic miracle was totally based on cheap Russian energy resources. We were, and we continue to be, a very reliable supplier of oil and gas. Europe has now become very dependent, for example, on US LNG, on Qatari LNG, boasting that they have substituted them Russia. But what happened? Has it increased European energy security? I think the answer is obvious that of course not. But of course, you're right that it is a good opportunity for European elites to rethink what they were doing and to look at natural opportunities that arise from our neighborhood, from the fact that Russia is a close neighbor of Europe and would be ready to provide it with energy resources. But it's not happening because people there in the EU, first and foremost, are totally poisoned by Russophobia, and they would be ready to inflict harm to their economies, but not to acknowledge the obvious fact that Russia is necessary for Europe to become and to remain a world player and somebody who is having a say in European politics. As a result, during these years, of course, the weight and the influence, the clout of Europe has diminished very much, and very few people really now claim that Europe is a serious international player. That's the result of their policies, and we regret this very much.
At the UN Security Council, Ambassador, you called the proceedings a theater of hypocrisy, accusing Europeans of living in a parallel reality and saying that Ukrainian citizens were lining up to die in a pointless meat grinder for Western geopolitical interests. What is the lesson for America after this in the context of what's happening in Ukraine? What's the lesson for the United States of America as a consequence of what has happened in Iran? What should be their learning?
Well, I'm not sure what kind of lesson the United States will draw from the Iranian situation, but I can tell you that there is a lot of things were made by conclusions after the Ukrainian crisis, and the approach of the current administration remains very much different from the previous one, because the previous one invested and gave a lot of money to Ukraine, hundreds of billions of dollars, without necessary accountability, which, as Trump says, undermined defense capacities of the United States, its military production capabilities, and it brought us nowhere. It brought the whole world to the crisis, because in order to solve a crisis, one needs to look into its root causes to find a sustainable long-term solution, and that's exactly what the current U.S. administration claims to be understanding about the Ukrainian crisis. This was reflected during the meeting of our two presidents in Alaska, in Anchorage, in August last year. I hope that the United States will draw conclusions also from this crisis with Iran. We believe that it's high time for the whole world to turn to diplomacy, to sit at the table and to try to discuss problems that have emerged during last years, and it was long before 2021. Things went awry much earlier. We need to sit down and we need to find answers and solutions that would be what would be acceptable for everybody and that would leave no one behind. There are legitimate interests of the United States, there are legitimate interests of Russia, and if when we speak about, for example, security guarantees, there should be security guarantees for Russia as well from the whole world, and that would lead us to the solution of this Ukrainian situation.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. Polyanskiy, as I thank you here tonight, I must say that you are an excellent diplomat. You know, you have neither confirmed nor denied many of my questions. We believe that...
You're an excellent presenter.
And I'm not so sure of that. But I do think here today, Mr. Polyanskiy, that the more I think about it, no country can afford to be away from a situation that affects all of us. Wars are no longer bilateral anymore. I believe that if Vietnam were happening today, neither Russia nor India or China can stay away from what happens. And hence, for the United States to believe that any war initiated by it in the hope of regime change will go unchallenged is going to be an absolute pipe dream. So on that, we are on the same page. I thank you very much. This Russian perspective is extremely important, extremely important. Thank you, Mr. Dmitry Polyanskiy. It's a privilege talking to you, sir.
Yo.
Thank you. Thank you. And that is Dmitry Polyanskiy. Ladies and gentlemen, no conflict is entirely bilateral anymore. So when this war started, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu had made it clear they wanted only one thing. Only one thing. They wanted regime change in Iran. Now, viewers, tonight is Monday, the 23rd of March. 3.5 weeks in, that objective is, at least for the moment, defeated, impossible. So, what happens to Israel? For Israel, Iran is the existential threat. If this war gets into ceasefire and slowdown mode, it may be okay for America to pull back at this time, saying that this is as far as we are willing to go. It can get counterproductive for us. But will a situation where the Islamic regime in Iran continues strong and unchallenged leave Israel more vulnerable? This is a question everyone in Tel Aviv will also have to look at, and I'm sure they're looking at this already. So who has won, Iran or Israel?
As the war began, both US and Israel had made one point clear. They wanted regime change in Iran.
It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
But 3 weeks into the war, Mujtaba Khamenei is still standing, the intended goal of regime change defeated. With repeated US military strikes on Tehran and key military leaders eliminated, the military infrastructure has now weakened. But in the last 7 days, Iran has scaled up the war. This was evident as Iran targeted UK-US base Diego Garcia. The strike came as Trump announced Washington was very close to achieving its military objectives. And now, a climb down by Trump, where he has announced a halt to all strikes on power plants in Iran for 5 days. This comes after Russia warned the US to stop targeting nuclear and energy infrastructure in Iran. This raises questions as the conflict drags on. Is this halt a way for Trump to control the narrative? But even as Trump announces a halt in strikes, Israel continues bombing Iran. With 3 weeks in, the only question that remains is who will emerge as the clear winner of this war, Iran or Israel?
Now, one must remember that this was originally Iran versus Israel. America has stepped in to help Israel. But now if Trump goes into pullback mode, Terry, and from the Israeli side, let me welcome Terry Newman, Chairman of Public Directors of BINA, Stav Cohen, lawyer and IDF Special Forces from Tel Aviv, Ori Goldberg. He's a political analyst in Iranian political theology. He's very critical of America and Israel. He's also from Tel Aviv. And Charmaine Narwani is joining us. She's an editor and columnist at The Cradle. She's live from London. She gives the view of Lebanon and the rest of the Middle East. So, Terry, if this goes into stalemate, if this goes into stalemate, does it help Israel?
Well, this is not going into stalemate. The Americans and the Israelis are clearly winning this war, both militarily and politically. The issue is that Iran has declared a different war. It's declared a war on the global markets and on the price of oil. And Donald Trump has shown this afternoon that he knows how to control that as well. He said, right, we're giving them another 5 days. He hasn't said that we're not going to go ahead. He said we're going to give another 5 days. The moment he said that, the oil price dropped 10% and the markets have recovered. So I don't see this in any way, shape or form a question mark of who is winning. All of the Iranian navy has been destroyed. Somewhere between 80% plus of their conventional land and missile capabilities have been destroyed. Their political leadership has been annihilated. Their current leader hasn't appeared on TV. So this isn't a question of who is winning or who is losing. The question in the long term is how do we bring this to an end in a way that the enriched uranium is no longer in the hands of crazed messianic lunatics that are firing ballistic missiles at all of their neighbors.
Then the question will be, let me get the other view. And, Yusuf Jalali is joining us. He's a journalist from Tehran. Let me go to Tehran first. Yusuf, Israel claims that they've already won this war. They are talking about the enriched uranium. There is no proof that they have got their hands on the enriched uranium or that it has been destroyed. They are saying that it's a temporary truce to bring down oil prices, nothing more than that. It's not, they've not given up. They've not declared a ceasefire, Yusuf. That's what our friend from Israel is saying. How do you read it?
Of course, in the eyes of Tehran, this is a defeat for the United States and a victory for the Islamic Republic because they argue that the United States has not achieved its primary goal of regime change in Iran. Of course, they have decapitated Iran's leadership. They have taken out major military commanders, and even the commanders of the IRGC are gone. Top commanders from the Islamic Revolution Guards Corps were taken out. But of course, the regime change, the Islamic Republic, as a country, as of course a political system that rules the country, still exists and is still retaliating and striking back against the Americans and the Israelis. So they're saying that the United States has not achieved its objectives, including the regime change. And of course, when it comes to Donald Trump's remarks on taking out or eliminating Iran's ballistic missile capability, its drone power, and even its nuclear program. They're saying that none of these goals and none of these objectives have been achieved so far. And now they're saying that Donald Trump has been focusing or shifting his objectives from regime change to now reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
So, bottom line is, it is getting very serious, Stav. However America may spin it, despite all the bombardment, the only thing visible to the entire world is that the Islamic Republic was underestimated. It has much more institutional capacity than was read by America. It has far more deeply embedded networks, and it has planned to ensure continuity and resilience in the near term after the biggest shock any country can get, which is decapitating of its entire leadership, including Ali Khamenei. And more than that, they have also still conducting maybe infrequent but steady missile attacks, steady drone attacks. So they have a military supply chain which was also perhaps underestimated. Maybe they also have support from Russia. I was just speaking to the Russian ambassador to Europe, and maybe they have back channel support. They have a deal with the Russians, a big, very, very big strategic understanding, a new defense contract. So all of these things, Stav, should have been factored in. But there was a feeling that Iran is an unprepared country. You kill Ali Khamenei and then you take over the country. I mean, who's going to pay the price for that?
Well, sir, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate it deeply. We're the ones who are paying the price for it. I had to run over the past 12 hours, 24 hours, I had to run 5 times to seek shelter alongside with my wife, alongside with babies, elderly on wheelchairs. You need to drag them, to take them down the street to the nearest public shelter. It's not a pretty sight. We're the ones who are paying the price, sir. And as far as Iran's capacity, excuse me?
Sharminder. Yeah, please carry on. No, please carry on.
As far as Iran's capacity to this war, sir, I never thought that they're not ready. Just on the contrary, this should have been done long time ago, sir. Long time ago. Iran is posing an immediate existential danger to the entire world, in my personal opinion, and it's not my 12 years in the battlefield that led me to this conclusion, sir. It's their own former president, Ahmadinejad, we all know him, who ruled 8 years from 2005 to 2013, and he said, in his own words, may I quote, "We will convert the entire world into Islam." This is the Akhilaf, a very important word, sir, in Arabic that means one Islamic global state. This war, of course, that Russia is backing the terror regime of Iran, because Russia is a terror country, just like Qatar. This is a war of coalition for freedom, for democracy, for love, against the opposition, against the 7th century mentality of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Ori, may I introduce to all of you, please? May I introduce to all of you? Ori, before coming to you, I wish to say one thing. That this discussion today, sometimes our Israeli panelists misunderstand it, is not about who is right or who is wrong, or about ethics or morality. Right now, the only question is, Ori, the question only I want to focus on is, there is no regime change. There is no regime change, which was the calculation.
It's ludicrous to say, as your first speaker said, that Iran and Israel are clearly winning this war, and that President Trump has simply expanded his ultimatum by 5 days. That's not even what Trump said. And the international markets are surging in response to Trump's statements, which means that the world believes that this war is going to end and wants this war to end, not in an American victory, because America has not achieved a single one of its defined war goals. Certainly Israel hasn't, because Israel has been speaking about regime change. About what your second Israeli speaker just said about how this is a war for love and we are the ones paying the price and Iran is a threat to the whole world. The past 2.5 years indicate that that is clearly not the case. Regime change has not been achieved, but what has been achieved is destruction. And this destruction was instigated by Israel and the United States, who opened an illegal attack. It was very clearly established that this was not a preventive strike. The senior leaders of Israel's own defense establishment have repeatedly said that Iran was not an existential threat. And I mean, look at the United States. Opening the Straits of Hormuz is now a war goal. The Straits of Hormuz were opened before the war began. This is something that Israel and America initiated. It is something that Israel and America are in the process of losing. And again, this isn't me saying it. This is the international markets, who are perhaps the most honest judge of world events, are saying. They are completely against any and everything your Israeli speakers have said.
Yeah, I was just saying on a lighter note here, I was talking to someone and they said that the real reason for the war, if anyone's got to be questioned for it, Sharmeen, or someone has got to be blamed for it, it has to be the Nobel Committee, because if they had given Trump the Nobel, maybe he wouldn't have been doing these things right now. But that's just entirely on a lighter note. But yeah, I know. Whatever. The point is this.
He has the Nobel, by the way.
He's got. But the point being here is that America has always excelled or thought it is the best in regime change. And let's look at the recent past, Sharmeen. Bangladesh. They carried out regime change in Bangladesh, brought in an American puppet called Yunus with much less investment, with a lot of social media confusion. They carried out regime change in Venezuela by just kidnapping Maduro. They carried out regime change in Nepal. Maybe it has not got that much international attention. Maybe Bangladesh and Nepal have not got as much international attention, but you speak to any intelligence expert, they will tell you through the use of a social media tool called Distort and a social media campaign, they engineered a regime change in Kathmandu, Nepal, Bangladesh, and more notably in Venezuela. Now, how do you view, they say, Sharmeen, that at one point of time, maybe not today, there will be regime change. There will be a large-scale revolt in Iran. There will be defections. Just wait for some more time. When the people of Iran begin to suffer, there will be regime change. Do you think that will happen? And do you think Iran is winning this, or is Israel winning this?
I don't think the possibility of regime change exists in Iran. This is not a banana republic in the way that the Americans seem to think all brown countries are, shithole countries, as they say. And I think that's been proven already. With the killing of Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, nothing ultimately changed. The IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, has simply, positioned itself as the decision maker because it's at wartime. I would argue that, in fact, if Benjamin Netanyahu was killed, you'd have a collapse of Israeli institutions. He was the only glue that managed to keep together Israeli governments. They just sit. He's kind of like the Glenn Close of Israel. He's the one person who just keeps popping back and is the only glue. Nobody else has the same capabilities. I would argue if you took out Donald Trump now that you would have, a collapse of the American system. I mean, we're talking. Institutions no longer matter in these countries. Both countries have superseded law in every way possible. They have gone to war with their publics over this even before the Gaza genocide started. Now they've created a law of the jungle for the world because this is the mentality of the Israelis and the Americans. And what I'd like to say, in terms of who is winning this war, I always say just, revert to the Hebrew press. That's all you have to do. Don't listen to the Americans. They're more Israeli and more Zionist than the Israeli press. Just over this weekend, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak got on Israel's Channel 13 and made clear that they had no understanding of Iran's strategy and how this war has unfolded over the past month. Therefore, we cannot make any progress. He went on to say that the U.S. has not won any war in the last 60 years. Stop lying to us so much. We can neither open the Strait of Hormuz nor destroy Iran's nuclear and missile power. And then he finished by saying after 2.5 years, we are still at square one. Hamas and Hezbollah are still standing, and the nuclear and missile threat of Iran remains. At least don't lie so openly. So I would argue for anyone who's trying to spin this ridiculous notion that Israel and the U.S. are winning the war, yes, you only have to look at the markets. In 56 minutes this morning, the markets moved $3 trillion, okay, with every statement, $2 trillion up. When Trump came out with his ludicrous statement, he's kicking the can down the road for 5 days, and then collapsed again $1 trillion when the Iranians said, no, there are no direct or indirect negotiations with the U.S. I would argue that in public perception, global perception, even the perceptions of the populations in both Israel and the United States, the vast majority have realized that nobody's listening to these buffoons leading these countries, that they are lying over and over again. So perception.
Strong language coming in from very strong language from Sharmeen tonight.
Don't forget that.
Sharmeen, you know, a lot of raised eyebrows as you were speaking there. Just one point. You know, you said these are all buffoons who are doing these things. I just got a statement here, Terry and Stav, and this statement has come in, by the way, Sharmeen and Ori. The statement, and Yusuf, the statement has just come in, all right? And let me read out the statement. The Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has declared, 1, there is no dialogue between Tehran and Washington. 2, Trump's statements come within the framework of his attempts to lower energy prices and gain time to implement his military plans. 3, there are initiatives from some countries in the region to reduce tension, and our response is clear. We are not the party that has started this war. 4, all initiatives to reduce tension must be referred to Washington. So then if you read all of these things, and pretty steadfast statement, how do you read this? Yusuf, can I get your sense of these statements? You know, this latest comment, 2-3 comments coming in, refuting talks. Why are these statements being put out? What is the intention in Tehran?
Of course, Iran has time and again said that they don't trust the United States. They don't trust Donald Trump himself as a president of the United States, because on the grounds that Donald Trump betrayed diplomacy twice. First, during the June war, prior to the June war, the United States and the Iranians had been talking. And then instead of the next round of talks, Iran faced the strikes coming from the Israelis. And then the United States also joined the attack, targeting 3 major nuclear facilities in Iran, Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan. And for the second time in less than a year, Donald Trump betrayed diplomacy once again. These are the remarks by Iranians. They're saying that Donald Trump bombed, quote unquote, bombed the negotiating table, and they cannot trust him, and they cannot trust his words. So from the public statements being made from Iranian officials, including from the foreign ministry that you just reviewed, we can understand that the Iranians have not been talking to the United States. But of course, we cannot just ignore the fact that Donald Trump mentioned a couple of countries. And we cannot just ignore the fact that if Donald Trump goes ahead and mentions third parties, they can be genuine. His claim can be genuine at the same time. So we have no option but to wait and see how things would evolve and would unfold in the coming days.
Iran is saying that we have a trust problem, Terry. We don't trust Trump. Now the question is America looking a little desperate to get an exit?
Arnab, this part of the war started on the 10th of September 2023 in your country, in Delhi, when there was the announcement of the IMEC. As soon as that happened, China, Russia, Iran gave the green light to Hamas to attack in order to prevent Israeli-Saudi normalization and complete the IMEC. The minute that happened, it was clear that this would end up with the Iranian regime having to pay a major price. It's taken 2.5 years. It's taken the fall of Assad in Syria. It's taken the weakening of Hezbollah. It's taken the weakening of the militias in Iraq. The weakening of the
serious discussion.
But we are now. We are 3 weeks into this stage of the war.
1 minute, Terry. Ori says that you are a. Ori says. Though I must say, Ori, that I do believe that the IMEC announcement that happened on the lines, I think it was G20, the IMEC announcement in New Delhi was just 5 or 6 weeks before the 7th November attack.
The 7th, and that gives...
And there was a lot of belief at that time that China had told Iran to go ahead